No, I'm not a writer.
Okay.
And here we go. This is Mike Lodge. I am the business advisor, and I'm glad that you've joined me. This is a Monday. Not a cloud in the sky. It's all beautiful blue skies. Sun is just popping up at the moment. Pretty soon it's going to be over the trees. It's going to be a great Monday. I'm telling you, it's going to be a good Monday. Not just for me, but for you also. So sit back, relax, do a little work. Well, do a lot of work, because that's what makes money, right? I've left you a whole bunch of news articles in my magazine, okay? If you go down into the body of my podcast, I produce the Business Advisor magazine. And I download news articles, news content is what I like to call it, that you guys can follow and you can see what's going on out there and what's going to affect you in your daily life. So that was started a long time ago, and a lot of people review it, a lot of people read it, so it's very good. I like it. But all of the stories that I try to bring you are in there, and I try to review all of the news content that's out there every single morning. That's the first thing I do when I jump out of bed, besides get coffee. By the way, I have a good cup of coffee this morning. It's called chocolate. I never knew there was such a thing, but I found it yesterday, and it is good. So everybody, take your cup of coffee or cocoa or whatever you're drinking. Take a sip. It's good. It's good stuff, right? Listen, the one thing I want to talk to you about is a lot of us get into this life and we just mosey on through life. We never do anything special. We never engage ourselves into something that we've never done before. Now, I'm going to talk about bucket lists this morning. I have bucket lists, and I'm accomplishing my bucket list as I go on in life. But one of the things is that we need to know exactly what is a bucket list and how it's going to affect you. You need a bucket list. I'm telling you, you need a bucket list. I have created a bucket list that I'm trying to accomplish one at a time, and I'm having fun at it. But besides doing tax work and mediation work and advising companies on business issues, I still have a bucket list. And so now I'm trying to achieve it. Every single one of us need a bucket list. Now, let's cut something out here, okay? A bucket list is not setting your budget, achieving business goals, getting a retirement plan in place. That's not a bucket list. Those are life chores. Those are things you should be doing. You should be setting up your daily budget. You should be looking at businesses to grow or to start. You should be looking at life insurance. Those are life chores. Let's ask Google what a bucket list, okay? Google. Okay, Google. What's a bucket list?
Here's the definition of bucket list. Informal. A number of experiences or achievements that a person hopes to have or accomplish during their lifetime.
The other thing is, a bucket list is derived off of before you kick the bucket. In other words, before you die. Something that you're going to do that's going to enhance your life before you die. Now, this term has been around for a while. In fact, it was better known when they did the movie The Bucket List with Freeman and whatever else that other actor's name is, where the guy was going to die, so he had all these bucket lists, and he took his friend along with him on this bucket list so that he could achieve them before he died. Jumped out of a plane, did all kinds of different things. Well, a bucket list is a lot more than just that. In fact, it doesn't really even have to be about before you die, even though we're doing it before we die. setting up a budget before you die is a life chore. And I'll do a podcast on life chores. But listen, you need a bucket list. Eat pizza in Italy, dive the Great Barrier Reef, hike the Pacific Crest Trail, or bungee jump off some type of bridge, or flying someplace, or learning to fly, or it's all of these things that you want to do in life. Maybe you want to be a better quilter, so you take a quilting class. Maybe you want to learn other languages before you die. I mean, this is a whole bunch of different things. But the problem is that few of us take the time to do it, but once it's on paper, write it down and put it on paper. Mine are all on paper. It's like you're more accountable to achieve it. Could this be true? Could this be the true meaning of a bucket list? How do we know if we're doing it right? What even is a bucket list? And that's the question that's always asked every single day. And so by definition, a bucket list is a number of experiences or achievements that a person hopes to have or accomplish during their lifetime. We need a bucket list. I love bucket lists. I tell you what, this last year in 2022, I decided that I was going to change my life and do things that I have never experienced before and that I wanted to do in life. Building a business, that was something that I did in my life, and I built several businesses. Being a good mediator, these are all professional goals. These are life chores that we are talking about. But I decided to, you know what, I'm going to do something different that I've never done before. So I started to think, and I started watching videos on what other people were doing and everything. And then I chose the ones that felt good to me. And of course, I've already accomplished my first bucket list. And that first bucket list was to take a train ride from the East Coast to the West Coast. And it was an experience. It was something that I would do it again. Even though I got COVID at the end, when I got to California, I got COVID, I would still do it again. And there's so many places in this country to go that are beautiful through the mountains and through the snow that you can do on a bucket list. I mean, that you can do on a train, with fulfilling your bucket list. But that train ride from here in South Carolina up to Washington, D.C., from Washington, D.C. over to Chicago, from Chicago all the way down through to Los Angeles was the best thing, the first best thing that I did in my life because I had never done it before. Now, my second bucket list that I'm going to is from here, and I have 16 states that I have to go to accomplish all 50 states. And then I can actually say, I have done all 50 states, and I'm going to do it. So I'm looking for a special card to take so I can travel and go up to the states that I need to go to. It's already mapped and planned out, and I'm ready to go. And hopefully I can do that at the end of April. That's my goal, end of April. And so that is my bucket list. But that also goes from here up through many states, and then the furthest state that I will go to will be Alaska. And I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to go on a ferry boat that takes 5 days. It doesn't even touch Canada, so that's good, because that's not one of my places that I want to go to. But it will go from Seattle all the way up to Alaska. And then I'm going to get on a train and go to the end of that. The end of the tracks in Alaska. So that is my bucket list. And then I have another bucket list that I want to do by July. And that is I want to go to Thailand and I want to explore Thailand and take really great pictures of that country. So, but that's just a travel bucket list, right? But I want to do things that I really want to do. And one of them is to do the Grand Circle around the eastern part of the United States in a boat on all the riverways and seaways and everything else. But I'm waiting on that because that takes a little bit more money that I don't have. But I'm going to do it. I will get there somehow. Even if I have to, well, I may have to rob a bank, but I don't want to. But I'll get there somehow. I will do it. But see, this is what's exciting, right? This is doing something different that you've never done before. Stimulates the mind, stimulates the heart, stimulates the body, because you're out there and you're meeting new people. You're talking to people that you would never thought that you would talk to before. I was able to talk to Amish people along my train route to California. They were going to Mexico. And I talked to them, talked about their families, talked about their language, talked about the children that they were raising, talked about their dairy farms, talked about their building of wood. It was probably one of the most greatest things that I have ever done is to sit down and talk to the Amish people. And I was surprised. There was a lot on my plane. From Washington, D.C. to Chicago, there were a lot of families, Amish families on there. And then from Chicago to California, there was an Amish family there. And we sat there and we talked. And then I talked to a teacher that worked on the Indian reservations, teaching. And I felt that this was one of the best blessings I had had, because I was talking, I was listening, I was hearing the stories of other individuals. See, bucket lists can teach you a lot. When you start talking to other people in a setting like on a train, you learn a lot about people. You hear stories of life. And you hear the good, you hear the tough times. You hear how hard they work and how much they've lost. And that is part of life. And a bucket list helps you have this ability to watch the world and listen to the world and listen to other stories of other people. Bucket list stimulates the mind and the heart and your whole body, because you are doing something that you've never done before, and you can sit there afterwards and smile. Now, on my train trip from South Carolina to Los Angeles, when I got to my friend's house, and I came down with COVID. Well, I got us all sick with COVID. But you know what the best part about that is? To be with very good friends that are like family. And we were there for 5 days in quarantine, taking our medication, watching black and white old movies, eating leftovers from Thanksgiving. I tell you, that's probably a bucket list that turned into a blessing. Every one of us, all of us, you, me, need a bucket list. And we need to start developing. Sit down today and write down what you would like to do in life. Go out onto YouTube and see what other people are doing to achieve bucket lists and travel and everything else that they're doing. But do it. It will be good for you. Listen, if you would like to have more contact with me, if you'd like to set up an appointment to do business coaching or business advisory, if you need it for your business, go to my website at www.lodge.co.com. And if you have a business question, send it to thebusinessadvisor@gmail.com. And also go to all of the links of what I've chosen for you on news content. Some of it's very interesting. They got a new term for people who are doing 2 and 3 things as they work at home. Body doubling. That's what it's called now. Listen, everybody go out and have a great day. I love you all. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.